Welcome to Fairy Tale Access, where the head fairy's quest is to prove that fairy tales do exist in actual time rather than once upon a time. Together, we will unravel the heroes, young and old, who turn dreams into reality. These are the people who still believe in happily ever after. The discoveries will bend even our most cynical non-believers into believing in fairy tales. Hi, welcome to Fairy Tale Access. I am so excited to introduce you to Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream people. They actually do catering, and my guests today are Lee Gentile.
Yes.
And Andrea Nagy?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, ladies. So tell us about Ben & Jerry's Caters. That's amazing. When do you have time to do that? Your stores are usually so busy.
Yes. So it's kind of hard to fit it in between, especially with the Manchester store and the Kennebunkport store. But, Lee, as our owner, she does a great job being able to organize and take care of all the catering, and she does probably 90% of the catering.
Wow.
So usually what we do is she's started to get a bigger staff. That way she can be able to have people at the store as well as bring people in real quick and then take them out to cater. And depending on the catering job, it usually probably asks, somewhere between 3 to 5 hours?
Yeah, generally between packing up and loading and getting to the site, setting up, catering, breaking down and unloading again.
Wow. And this is an example of what it would look like. So tell us a little bit about the products that you would bring to an ice cream social. And the smallest one that you do and the largest one that you've done to date. That would be great.
Let's see. I think the smallest one that we did was probably either a party one of us did. It was probably, I think the smallest we do is 20 people.
I've done smaller than that if it's off season, and we can work it in. We'll do a little bit smaller, or we'll come out for smaller groups if you're willing to pay for the 20. That kind of a scenario.
But we usually bring a cooler wrapped like this. We try to have a Ben & Jerry's logo. That way everybody, can obviously see. You don't just want a plain cooler. Somewhere between 3 to 4, I think you've done about 6 different flavors at one point.
Depending on the
group.
size, because sometimes we'll be catering for 800 people, and so then you
Wow.
need a little bit more of a selection, and it's a question of how many tubs you can bring of the same choice, et cetera. So,
Right, to move the lines
and we try to
along.
provide, when we go to the larger size groups, 100 and more, we try to always include a dairy-free product, like a sorbet, and Ben & Jerry's just came out with dairy-free yesterday. Also,
What's the flavor of the dairy-free?
they came out with 4 pint only right now flavors. We are expecting one of the flavors in tub form in our scoop shop in a couple of weeks. But Chunky Monkey, there's a peanut butter cookie, there is a coffee, chocolate caramel, and
I believe a chocolate fudge brownie.
a chocolate fudge brownie, all vegan, dairy-free.
Wow.
And there was a mad rush yesterday in the store to purchase them.
Oh, I'll bet. Everybody likes to try new flavors.
Yes.
And you have a selection of toppings for them?
Yes, so we come equipped with a hot fudge and caramel machine, and as well as hot fudge and caramel, we can also bring strawberry sauce, raspberry sauce, and even sometimes peanut butter sauce. And sometimes we even bring a chocolate shell, which is liquid, but then when you pour it onto the ice cream, it hardens, and you can like Ben & Jerry says, I think the word is thwack, you thwack it, and it crumbles onto the ice cream, then you can eat it kind of like it's chocolate chunks in it. It's really neat. And then we bring whipped cream, and we bring, I believe, 7 toppings between rainbow chocolate sprinkles, peanuts, Reese's Pieces, M&Ms, gummy bears, and Oreos.
And walnuts.
And walnuts, yes. How could I forget walnuts? Classic one.
That's great. How did you get involved in this business?
Okay, so my husband and I, prior to this, owned 9 video stores across southern New Hampshire. And we opened our first one in 1992, and everything was fabulous until the onset of on-demand Netflix, Redbox, and we knew 10 or 11 years ago that something was going to be happening, probably wasn't going to be good for the brick and mortar video stores. So while we could, we thought we need to diversify. What could we diversify into? We both met, we were restaurant managers in Boston. We have restaurant background. My husband's father owned 3 Italian restaurants. So food was a natural thing. Because before we even did the video stores, we were going to open a sports pub. But that's a story in itself. So anyway, at the time that we were looking around to diversify, Ben & Jerry's had basically started franchising. They hadn't franchised in the past. And New Hampshire happened to be open. So we just jumped on it because who doesn't like Ben & Jerry's ice cream? It's the best ice cream in the world. It's got to be a great business to go into.
Absolutely.
yeah.
It goes with movies. Yeah.
Well, and for a long time, so the Manchester store has been open for 10 years. We also purchased the Kenny Bunkport store when we were up being approved to be franchisees. A year before we opened Manchester, we had found out that the owners were selling it and moving to Florida. So we thought, well, that's an established seasonal shop. Let's do that because it's going to take a year to open the new restaurant. So we did that. And then a year later, we opened downtown. But what was I saying about that? I had something, a point I was getting to.
Why you got into the business?
But having cross promoting.
Right.
So we had the 9 video stores. We were locked into these long leases. We couldn't just shut the doors and lock down. We had to, stay through our lease obligations. We brought in Ben & Jerry's freezers in all of the video stores, and we sold the pints, the pre-packed pints that you would get in a convenience store, and the novelties, the ice cream bars, et cetera. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and so we had those, and that was throughout the time, and then we would gradually close the stores until, actually our last store just closed 3 years ago in March in Londonderry. It was Movie Scene, was our video store chain.
Wow.
So, and then, then we're on to Ben & Jerry's. I jumped into it full-time about 3.5 years ago because I was busy closing the video stores. My husband was overseeing the ice cream shops up until that point.
Wow. And how do you keep from gaining weight at this ice cream shop?
I like to say that we graze all day. We all sample. We must all know what the ice cream tastes like, what nice combinations are, et cetera, et cetera. So when you graze, it keeps your metabolism running. And
So let's graze. What did
Let's
you bring
graze.
to try out?
We brought today 3 flavors.
Okay.
We brought a brand new flavor, which is brownie batter. It's only been out for a week. And then we thought we'll bring 2 classics.
Okay.
Chocolate chip cookie dough, which is the #1 seller at Ben & Jerry's.
Really?
Worldwide, #1. And Cherry Garcia, which is always a fan favorite.
Can I try them?
Please.
Of course.
Would you like to make a sundae out of one of them, or what would you like to sample, or?
I'll sample a little bit of each one.
Okay. So
So if you're at the social, you guys scoop them or do they scoop?
So we scoop. We scoop the ice cream. It's generally 2 scoops, but however, when we come and do a party for you, it's your party. Whatever you tell us is what we'll put in the bowl. So some people, if we have 5 flavors, we go right down the line for them. It's all good, whatever they want.
Okay.
So, and then we continue on. So we'll show you how that happens.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, do you want a little bit of everything?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go. So here's a little bit of cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough, our brand new brownie batter, which is fabulous. And,
Those are big scoops.
oh, these are not big scoops. We're just being nice to you. These are not big.
Okay.
Okay, now, do you want
Absolutely.
to continue, and then you're going to sample it?
Okay.
And then I would say, would you like any hot fudge or caramel?
I think we should try the caramel with
Caramel?
the chocolate brownie.
Sure. And then I would also ask if you'd like any whipped cream or anything on top of it.
Sure, whipped cream sounds good.
And the whipped cream is fresh. This is how we dispense whipped cream in our scoop shop. These are the hot fudge caramel dispensers that we use in the scoop shop. So we basically tell you that we're bringing a mini scoop shop to your event. We come in, we set up, we serve, we clean, and we leave, and you don't have to do anything, and your guests think you're fabulous for finding Ben & Jerry's.
Absolutely. But if there's children involved, there's a lot of sticky fingers everywhere.
Very true.
That's true.
And then out of the 7 toppings, you can add as many as you'd like, or you can add none at all. It's completely up to you what you would like to add.
I'll save the toppings for later.
Okay, that is
but
perfectly fine.
let's see. So this is tell us about what I'm trying. The new chocolate.
The brownie batter.
Oh yes, it's so good. So it's chocolate and vanilla ice cream, and it's got a brownie batter swirl in it, as well as brownie chunks. It's really good. It's very sweet. Some people don't always like super sweet ice cream, but I definitely feel like when you taste it, you're actually tasting like what brownie batter would be like, but don't have to worry about, Mom saying, don't eat the brownie batter, honey. It's not good for you. So
It's really, it is fabulous. And it's really smooth. Almost like a gelato.
yeah, it's actually I've noticed that for ice cream, it's probably one of the smoothest ice creams I think that I've ever really tasted or even scooped, probably because of the way it's made, I believe, because it's made with fresh dairy milk. Like, it doesn't have any preservatives, and it comes from local farms and places like that, as well as everything in it goes back to actually how we have a fair trade and non-GMOs in our ice cream as well.
Oh,
So I think with everything in it, that's why it tastes extra
So
smooth.
is it part of your new vegan line? Or?
The non-GMO, so all of our ice cream is, no ingredient has GMOs in it. So genetically modified organisms. It took about a year for Ben & Jerry's to phase all of our flavors into that, but we have no GMOs in anything, which are genetically modified organisms and found in almost all processed foods.
Oh, wow.
So, and including our caramel and our fudge do not have any GMOs in them. And then the vegan, though, is that new product that came out, although we've always had the sorbet, which is vegan as well. But now the new product, as of yesterday, is vegan. It's made with almond milk.
Almond milk?
Almond milk. Yeah, and so when we get the tubs in the scoop shop of the new vegan product, we're also going to bring in unsweetened almond milk so that we can make shakes for people. And we'll actually be able to make cakes because we make a lot of ice cream cakes too. So we'll make cakes for them as well. So this will be really exciting.
That is exciting.
Yes.
And you said the cream is fresh, so do you make it in the shop or?
Yeah, I actually just made it this morning, specialty for you guys. So what it is
Thank
we
you.
just put vanilla, and it's just heavy cream, and we use CO2 as well. And we just put it in this can, we shake it up, and then it comes out so smooth. The last party I was at, actually, the father was an engineer, and he was like, oh, do you use CO2 for your whipped cream? And he was like, can I buy one of those? And I was like, I don't think you can buy it from us, but you could probably buy it somewhere. And I feel like it just makes the whipped cream taste so much more fresher than if you did a ready whipped cam.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's real.
completely
So good.
different than anything I've tried in the supermarket. It's so smooth.
And this is,
And it has a great taste.
yep, that's what we serve in the scoop shops too. So we have lots of these. Sometimes we go on big parties, we'll bring 8 of those.
Wow.
So
And how long has the cookie dough been around? This is really good.
cookie dough,
Long time. It's
One of the longest.
Yeah.
one of the first.
because Ben & Jerry's was the first one to do a chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were the first ones to come. I mean, there's been obviously different places who have done cookie doughs as well, or sometimes people think it's all cookie dough ice cream with vanilla in it. But I mean, I think of chocolate chip cookie dough, this is exactly what I think of, vanilla ice cream with cookie dough pieces and chocolate chips in it.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of comments that people say that the Ben & Jerry's cookie dough is the best. It has the most cookie dough, like a lot of other brands. I'm not a professional on this, but it's just what our customers tell us. It lacks the cookie dough. It might be a cookie dough ice cream, but it doesn't have the,
Actually, a study was done from Ben & Jerry's that our ice cream does have the most cookie
Yeah.
dough.
I know, I'm just trying to couple pieces. It's so good.
and the Cherry Garcia is fabulous. The Bing cherries are generally from Washington State.
I'm gonna
And,
try.
you know, all of the ingredients in all of our ice cream are all fair trade. So if we have to go to the Amazon to purchase cocoa, for instance, we only buy it from farmers that practice fair trade policies. So we are a super premium ice cream. We cost a little bit more, but we actually are the best ice cream in the world. We
True.
beat Haagen-Dazs, #1 in the world. We just came out with the rankings.
Wow.
And for a reason, though, because all of our ingredients
Because
are
you
super
can't stop
premium.
eating it once you
We
get it.
support, yeah, and we support the small dairy farmers. We don't deal with factory farms. You know, and we help the small dairy farmers with their topsoil issues, their battles against the factory farms. There's no steroids, no antibiotics in any of the milk from the cows.
The Cherry Garcia is fantastic. Actually,
It's
they're
so
all
good.
fantastic.
It's
And this,
delicious.
the new brownie is seriously amazing. I don't think it's too sweet.
And you can't see this
long
probably
as you like it.
on TV, but the Cherry Garcia, if you look at it, people will think, that's not cherry, it's not red. We have
Oh, it's
no artificial coloring in anything. Our mint chocolate chunk is white as snow, and it is delicious. So
they
the
are.
only coloring that is ever given off in any of our ice creams is the natural coloring from like the fruit itself.
Even people who
And you can
like sweet
taste the
strawberries.
fruit with that, and it's a really smooth blend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one interesting thing I really love about Ben & Jerry's too is that a lot of people, when they ask me, oh, what, because in Kennebunkport, we don't have an open cooler, so you can't see any of the flavors, they just see the list of the flavors. So they go, oh, like chocolate fudge brownie, is that chocolate base or is it vanilla base? And sometimes I have to explain that, like for Cherry Garcia, people go, oh, it's vanilla. I'm like, it's actually cherry ice cream, and it's got Bing cherries and chocolate chunks, and they're like, oh, so it's not even vanilla. I'm like, no, it's a cherry ice cream. It's just we can't use food coloring. Like we have a coconut 7-layer bar, and people assume that it's vanilla because it's white, but it's actually coconut ice cream. Like it's interesting.
It does taste exactly like cherries with a nice smooth finish.
Right.
It's really delicious.
Yeah, it's a really good ice cream.
So what do you love most about your jobs? Because obviously you love this company and working for them. Easy to fall in love with the ice cream.
I mean, this thing that I love the most, well, Ben & Jerry's is very community oriented. So we do as much as we can to give back to our communities, #1. #2, we are basically the place that we make people happy. So people come into our scoop shop when they're having a bad day, and we can put a smile on their face, and they leave happy. When we come to a party, when we do a corporate event, say, people are having a bad day, they come and they make their own ice cream sundae, and they're super happy. And we've had human resource reps tell us that they're in charge of employees' raises, benefits, et cetera, et cetera. When we come and do an ice cream sundae party at their company, they'll stop them in the hall and say, when is Ben & Jerry's coming back again? You know? Go ahead, Ed. What makes you happy?
That's great.
Oh, well, I've been with Ben & Jerry's for 6 years, and I think after 6 years, I have to say what makes me the happiest is actually probably the people I work with. Because in high school, I was really big on like team sports and things like that, and it was nice to come into an atmosphere where everyone was so happy and you made other people happy, even if it was doing something as just scooping ice cream. You know, people come in either on a bad day, like Lee said, or even just like, you know, in Kennebunkport, they come in on vacation. They're here to have a blast. They're joking around, and they may say the corniest joke to you 12 times a day because they all say it. But, you know, if you're surrounded by, you know, people that love their job and you love your job, and, you know, you get to work with people who are just super happy and the customers are happy, and even just by handing them frozen milk, you say, have a great day, like enjoy your vacation or whatever it is, like they get so ecstatically happy. And like I instantly feel every time I hand someone an ice cream that I have just made their day 10 times better. And their smile and watching them eat and have fun actually makes me happy because it makes me feel like I've done a great job.
Well, having tasted your product and actually been in your store, I have to tell you, when I get it, it's the most relaxing part of my day. It's the only ice cream I can eat really slowly and savor the taste. It's amazing. So what else do you do in the community to give back to the community?
Oh, we do a lot of different things. I know that in Manchester we work with the YMCA, and we also do, I know in Kennebunkport we work with the Lower Village Senior Center, which is just like a senior center for people in the community to go to. And I actually went and visited there a few weeks ago, and I don't believe that they live there, but they can go and be active within the community. And, you know, we work with them and they come and visit us, and we give them like free gift baskets and things to raffle off. Other things we do in Manchester besides the YMCA is I think you work with, this past winter we did the animal shelter, right?
Yeah, we collected donations for Feline Friends and the Manchester Animal Shelter. We also, for New Horizons for New Hampshire, the food pantry and the shelter. We had a couple of our group go and serve. They put on a little Super Bowl party for the homeless, and we served ice cream sundaes for free at that to about 100 people. We do,
great.
you know, we do the Santa brunch for the Y. We do a lot of things for the Y. We sponsor a lot of events. We'll scoop at a lot of charitable events. I mean, we're going to the YWCA this week and scooping a Sunday bar for some families. You know,
great.
but we do a lot of that kind of thing. And I mean, we have our free cone day coming up.
Oh,
I'm
that's
probably
right.
jumping ahead on you.
No,
Our
that's
free
perfect.
cone day is coming up, which is part of our community involvement. It's National Worldwide Free Cone Day. It's become a cult event.
Is that
So
April 12th?
It's April 12th, and it is from 12 to 8. And last year in Manchester, we scooped about 6,000 scoops. Yes, and you get a free scoop, and people wait in line, and the line is very long. But if you
What time do you
donate-
open?
well, it starts at noon. It starts at noon.
Noon.
That day, noon. We open at
Okay.
11, but that day, noon. And if you bring a dollar, you get 2 scoops. And in Manchester, that money that we collect goes to CHAD, Children's Hospital at Dartmouth. In Kennebunkport, it goes to the senior center that she was just speaking of. And we also, we do raffles. We try to get some gift certificates, et cetera. And we raffle off like ice cream cakes and different things from us. And all that money goes to the charity as well.
Wow, that sounds like a great day.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
exciting.
It's quite exciting. We have to have about 100 to 110 tubs delivered the next day because we're almost out of ice cream.
Wow. How many employees do you have to have out on that day?
Oh my goodness.
Everybody?
We have
Pretty
about
much
10 on
everyone.
all day long, at least 10 on in Manchester, and close to that in Kennebunkport.
And sometimes we like trade shifts, and a nice thing I think we do is we have like celebrity scoopers come in. So people around the community or people that are like well known, either from the state or the town or whatever, just come in and they help scoop. So they can, I don't like to use the word advertise, but they can help, you know, come in and see what it's like, and people get excited to see them, and it's really fun. And sometimes they're
Well,
willing
I'm
to
sure
donate
it's
a little
not
bit
too
more. So.
hard to find people that like Ben and Jerry's.
Exactly.
That's great. So where can people reach you? What's the best way to reach you to book a party, or you're on Elm Street?
We are on Elm Street at 940 Elm Street in Manchester, right beside City Hall.
And you have a drive-in window, or like a walk-up window too, right?
Well, it says that, but we've never been able to really pull that off. They won't allow us to put a menu or anything out there, but
Oh.
so no. But it's okay. We wish we did. But you can call the Scoop Shop, which is 647-9400, or
And
call
area
me
code
at
603.
area code 603, or you can, and a lot of times they'll refer you to me, so I'm Lee Gentile. You can also, once Kennebunkport, Maine is open, Andrea is the manager there, and you can call that Scoop Shop or speak with her directly. We use Free Cone Day as our kickoff to our season. So, and we are expanding our catering in Maine.
Yes, we're really excited this year because usually in Kennebunkport, because it's so seasonal and we get rushes 2 to 3 times a day, it gets really hard. But since I've been there so long and this is my second year as manager, we figured that we could maybe do some catering because Kennebunkport, not only is it a vacation town, but it's also like a beautiful, gorgeous, people want to get married, they want to have their engagement parties, they just like, people who have lots of money who want to have parties.
Absolutely, on the beach.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I did a catering event this summer for a running club actually, and I like scooped right on the beach, and it was just like amazing. So I figured, if we have the opportunity to do this year, and I've worked with Lee so long, and I've seen her do it, she kind of just like lets me take over. But obviously, like I can call her and be like, Lee, I don't know what to do. Like I need your help, and she's always right there to help me. But we're expanding our catering, hopefully, and hiring some extra staff to help us out with that. So hopefully.
And what
people
areas
call.
do you cover? Just New Hampshire and Maine at this point, or
Well, we do most of New Hampshire. There is a Ben & Jerry's in North Conway, and he does do some catering.
Okay.
But most of New Hampshire, Northern Mass, there are Ben & Jerry's in Massachusetts, but they're more southern, and they typically don't tend to come up to, say, North Andover and things like it depends,
Right.
but we cover that part. And then southern New Hampshire, there's another Ben & Jerry's in Freeport, but they don't do any catering.
Okay.
So we
And there's one in
basically-
Agunquit, too.
Yeah, and he doesn't do catering either. But we're doing a lot of weddings lately. So we have chef's jackets. We have different setups for weddings where we clean up well. We can be funky and awesome, or we can just be classy. And we have a lot of different setups depending on your event. We have a big cart that we take to outside festivals, bigger events, and we go to Fidelity, for instance, and we serve 800 sundaes in 2 hours. So we bring the cart, which houses 28 tubs, and we set up multiple scoop stations off of that, so everybody just funnels up and, has their own station to go to.
Great.
And it works well.
Before we cut off, I'm sure there's so many more stories, but what's your webpage that people can go to?
Well, each shop has a webpage, so it's
Okay.
benjerry.com/Elm Street spelled out or Kennebunkport spelled out. That will take you to the Scoop Shop website.
Okay.
And then we also have a fan page for each on Facebook, so it's Ben & Jerry's -Manchester or -Kennebunkport.
Fantastic. Well, thank you ladies so much for coming out. I'm so excited to finish this ice cream. And until next time, keep asking questions. The answers are out there. And check Ben & Jerry's. They may just have the flavor you're looking for. We'll see you soon.